Hey guys, what I'm going to be talking about today is malaria, which is a pretty serious disease. I'm sure you've heard about it by now. It's caused by a parasite that's contracted from a particular type of mosquito that feeds on humans. The symptoms of malaria are generally a lot like the common flu, which is just, high fever, shaking, chills, and vomiting. It's not inherently dangerous if you have the right medication, but if you don't, then it can easily kill you. Africa is pretty famous for having the most abundance of malaria. That's where 91% of the deaths come from. The next 6% come from the Southeast Asia region, and the next 3% come from Eastern Mediterranean region. There is about 1,500 cases a year in America, but that's mostly from foreigners who come from this region, get bitten by a mosquito, and then that mosquito bites someone else. The biology behind this is kind of complicated. When a female mosquito contracts the virus, it becomes an oocyte. And when the oocyte bursts, it is replaced by a sporocyte, which is a parasite form. And when the mosquito bites someone else, the sporocyte then injects the person with Plasmodium falciparum, which invades a liver cell. The parasite then grows in 6 days and produces 30,000 to 40,000 daughter cells, which then become merozoites, which are released into the blood when the liver cell ruptures. In the blood, after a single merozoite invades a red blood cell, the parasite grows in 48 days and produces 8 to 24 daughter cells, which are released into the blood when the red blood cell ruptures. So here are some kind of depressing facts and figures. Right now, there are 3.3 billion people that live in areas at risk of malaria transmission, which is obviously about half the population. And in 2010, the World Health Organization estimated that malaria caused 219 million clinical episodes and 660,000 deaths, 200,000 of which were children. Most of this occurs in the Africa region because most of the population there simply can't afford the medication that is required to keep you alive when you contract malaria. These pictures are kind of hard to see, but I'll walk you through it. The incubation period from when a person first contracts malaria usually lasts for about 7 to 30 days, and when that 7 to 30 days is up, a person will experience a malaria attack that usually consists from 6 to 10 hours, which is basically a cold stage, which is cold shivering, a hot stage, which is fever, headaches, and vomiting, and a sweating stage, which returns their body temperature to normal, and they feel extremely tired afterwards. When a person is diagnosed with malaria, it's usually found based on the demonstrations of parasites in the blood, which is found by microscopy. They also might find mild anemia, a decrease in blood platelets, and elevation of bilirubin. Now, the treatment of malaria is basically just a series of drugs, all of which have very hard names to pronounce. I'll do my best here, though. The first one is chloroquine. The second one is atovoquine proguanil. The third is artemether lumefantrine. The fourth is mefloquine. The fifth is quinine. The sixth is quindine. The seventh is doxycycline. The eighth is clindamycin. And the eighth is artesunate. Now, if a person regularly treats malaria with drugs, they can expect their symptoms to go away pretty quickly after they're done with them. However, someone who is left untreated with malaria can experience a pretty painful death through organ failure. Now, people who are more susceptible to die from it are people who've never had it before, such as small children or pregnant women. What's interesting to note is that the virus can be destroyed easily through antibodies, so anyone who has had it before has a pretty good chance of just stopping the virus completely before it overtakes them, and people who live in climates where malaria is abundant usually can go years without ever contracting the symptoms from malaria. The prevention of malaria is pretty simple. Basically, all you need to do is use mosquito nets where mosquitoes are abundant, and cover your body up as much as you can. Basically, just stay away from mosquitoes. Alright guys, thanks for listening. Hopefully it wasn't too dry. Until next time.